Hello race fans and welcome to the V8 Supercars ShawFire series by MotorMotion Round 3. ShawFire, our sponsor, they provide unique solutions in your signage and display needs. From business cards and stickers to factory signage and vehicle wraps, they can make you stand out. So make sure you visit www.shawfire.com.au, the proud sponsors of the MotorMotion E-Series V8 Supercars. Tonight in the commentary box, you do have myself, Joel Austin. We are at round 3, St. Croix B in France. So one lap around here is 7 kilometers long. They have 14 turns to navigate and 19 laps to complete. Qualifying has been completed, so as we read out the order, A. Scott in first place, followed by Foster, Batasso, and Colin. In 5th place we have Peyton, followed by Taylor. We've got Monica in 7th and Piers in 8th. 9th place we have Taylor, 10th Carter, 11th Cartwright and 12th place Griffin. Rounding out the field today we have Atkinson in 13th, Harcourt 14th, and rounding out the end of the field is Attard. Now make sure you share us on all of the socials, share the stream, make sure you're using the hashtag Light It Up. We want to see you with us, supporting us, and honestly guys, this is going to be absolutely amazing as we kick off now into the live stream. Right, the lights are getting set, ready to go out. And we are green flag racing, ladies and gentlemen. As we see, oh, looks like Spud's had an amazing start. He's already 3/4 up the side of Ando. As these drivers come around the first corner here, do they go to around 3 wide? No, Rolls has backed out and left some room. Those cold tyres, what a good call. So we see Spud's got an amazing jump off the start. He looks like he's about to take the lead. Here we are moving up. And Spud, he's done it. He's made the move stick. He's got past Ando. An amazing drive off the start line with cold tyres. As we follow this battle pack, coming up to the bridge here, a very technical set of corners. You need to get all of this right to get a clean run onto the bridge. If you don't get that clean run, you're not going to have the speed coming across. Someone's going to be able to get into your slipstream, make the move up the inside, and take the next corner. As we see Ando do exactly what we've just said. He's made the move up the inside. He's hard on the brakes here. He's braked earlier than Spud, but he's made it stick. He's coming around the first corner. There we go. They've done it. They've made it work. Not enough room here to do that overlap. As the drivers move wide to the outside, brake hard. Now this is where you want to get the power down as early as you can. You want to get a good slingshot out here so that the back straight is absolutely full power. If you get this wrong, the drivers behind you are going to catch up and they're going to go past you like you're standing still. You need a good clean run out of those corners. As we see Spud starting to fight off Rolls. The field is very compressed here in the opening lap. We see Rolls run wide into the sand, onto the grass. He's held it. He's done a great job. We see Extreme go around the outside after that mistake. We see his car is quite raked, and that is to adverse those bumps in those final corners there. As you see, his car takes that quite smoothly. Moving up to the final corner, onto the last straight of the first lap. We've got Ando in first place. Absolutely flying now. He looks like he's really started to put the beans down. He's given it everything he's got. We've got Spud here in second place after that amazing jump off the start. Moving down, we've got Extremes jumped up to 3rd place. Well done to him. Rolls there, covering 4th in the Dodo car. He's done quite a great job. He's just become a team owner of West End Motorsport. So a lot of things sort of happened in the background. He's now become a team owner. He's running a team and he's got his own driver, Mitchell Collin, who's also in here. You'll see him as Bundy Bear. As we move further down the field, we can see that Aussie's in 5th place, doing a fantastic job. M. Collin, who we were just talking about, the teammate, he's there in 6th. So this is his first appearance here in MotorMotion. And wow, what a spectacular drive to start the series off. He's here in 6th on the 2nd lap. Fantastic. Moving down, we've got Super VT. You can see she's picked up a penalty here. It's a bit unfortunate. It's quite interesting. Super VT's been racing since GT2. She's been sticking it to the boys for a very long time. It's an interesting fact that she's only actually had a wheel for about a year as she gets side by side with Colin. Oh, there's been a bit of contact there. She's kept it straight. She's going around too wide through that corner, as sketchy as it is. Wow, sticking it to the boys, what do I tell you? She's had her wheel for 1 year now. She's doing absolutely fantastic. Sometimes it just clicks with a person, you know, and maybe that person could be you. Maybe you should jump onto our Facebook and register for an E-Series coming soon. Maybe you could get scouted for a top set team just like Monica's done. As we move down the field again, we've got Pearsey in 7th, hot on her tail. Almost looks to make a move down the inside, but thinks better of it as the cold tyres are still starting to warm up. We've got HC Lewis, that's Monica's teammate there in 8th, just as he goes past. We've got Sir Dids in 9th place. He's done fantastic. Starting in last place on the grid, made his way up to 9th already. What a drive. Griffo, here he is in 10th, coming across the line. Wayno hot on his tail. We've got Ryoff there in 12th for the Jack Daniels racing team. GLR Scotty, I would have expected to see him a little bit further up the order, and unfortunately looks like he's come into contact with a bit of traffic at some point during this race. So GLR Scotty is the team owner of Gridline Racing. These guys have been battling it out for the team championship, currently in the league, with Ned Racing hot on their tails. As we go down, we've got Colin. He's dropped down after that collision with Monica. He's down in 14th place. And Rusty Nuts tailing at our racing grid today in 5th. The field is massively compressed, as we can see, coming across the bridge here. All the cars filing down in a row. As we jump up the pack a little bit, we move up to Aussie here. In 4th place. Driving for WTCC. As we see, he looks to make some ground up on Spud in that first driver pack. We see Ando's absolutely driven away with it. Wow, what a gap. It's only been a matter of 2 laps, ladies and gentlemen, and we can see that Ando's saying, no, see you later. His first lap was a 2:04. First flying lap was a 2:04. That's ballistic. How the hell has he done that? Cold tyres and all, and he goes, yep, no worries. He did do a 2:03 in the qualifying, so will we see that kind of pace from him every single lap as he comes across the line with a 2:04.3? So he's definitely slowly getting faster each lap so far. Will he be able to keep that up for the entire 19 laps? That's absolutely insane. So he did miss out last week. He was away with some work commitments. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to race, but he's putting on an absolute spectacle of a performance right now as we see him making his way onto that straight. Now these couple of corners ahead here, very technical. You need to hang out wide, lift off the throttle as we see him do. He's applied a little bit of brakes to pull it in early, and then you want to get back on the gas, bit of power. There we go, and up onto the bridge. You want to get there as much speed as you can. Endo using every bit of road. You see him go right out wide, flying across the bridge, opening up all of those horses that he has on offer. Here in the MotorMotion ShawFire V8 Supercars series, the absolute limit of horsepower across the series is 450 brake horsepower. We've also got a performance points limit of 743. So between those two things, the teams need to tune their cars to get the absolute best drive possible. And it looks like the technicians down there at WTC with Ando have absolutely got this right. He's done 2 consecutive laps in the 2:04s. That's qualifying pace. He is flying, and he's doing it off the back of a full tank of fuel. He's down to half a tank right now. As we jump down through the pack, we see that he's used about the same amount as Rolls. Rolls is keeping up with the pace, but Ando's just that little bit quicker. As we move down into 3rd place, Spud doing quite well, the first Mustang that we've seen so far. So we've got Camaro, Mustang. This field is quite evenly split considering the the Chev does have a little bit of an advantage over the Mustang. It seems the Mustang seems to be a little bit more planted. So will we see better results in these longer races? We'll just have to wait and see. As we see Spud go across with a 205. Again, 3 laps in a row. Quite consistent pace from these guys. Top tier level racing. As we move down the field, we see Aussie, also WTCC. He's there in 4th. We've got Kane Payton, Extreme Enzetta in 5th place. Also pumping out the 205s. Seems so far that Ando's the only freak able to do the 204s consistently. So we'll check back in and see if he gets any faster as that fuel goes down. But if he can keep that up all race, that's going to be quite impressive. So we move down, we see Piercy here in 6th, not that far behind the battle pack, but he is definitely the lead driver of that second group. Racing for Strike Race Tech. These guys are a relatively new team to the league. And they're doing quite well for themselves. So we see HC Lewis grab a little bit of extra wall there, just a couple of sparkles coming off the side of his side mirror. It's a little bit sideways. We can see some scrape marks up the side there too. Doing a fantastic drive as he gets a little sideways. Holds it, coming around the corner. Now remember what we said before, ladies and gentlemen, this is where you want to get that power down early. Unfortunately, that slide is going to allow Super VT to catch back up to her teammate. Maybe those two will be able to work together, use a slipstream off each other, save a little bit of fuel, get around a little bit more tidily together. We'll just have to wait and see how much ground she actually gains off him from that small mistake. As we jump on board now with Super VT. As Monica comes across the line, she's posted a 206. She's got a lot of pressure behind from Dids. We were saying last week that the Camaro sounded good, but being on board just then, wow, that Mustang doesn't sound terrible either. So we see a yellow flag ahead. It looks like Piercy's made an error. Piercy's all sorts of sideways. Big cloud of smoke behind him, and his teammate Dids goes past. Might have just come onto that throttle a little bit early around that corner and made the error himself. So we don't see any other traffic cars in any issues. What a shame. But Dids using every inch of road to try and keep up with Super VT here. He's in the slipstream. He's not going to catch it down the end of the bridge. Both these cars heavy on the brakes at the 150 sign. Turning in early. Hard on the accelerator as on the exit of the corner. Oh, so we see a little bit of the dirt come across there. Dids might have took it a little too early. You want to brake early here, turn in tight, and get the power down for this back straight. So we see that traction control limiting the amount of power coming out of that car, but it's also keeping it straight. Very wise for 19 laps around here as we're on lap 6 of 19. So we jump back up to our leader, Ando. Having a fantastic drive, and he's purple again, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but 204s since his flying lap. This guy has not made a single error yet. Can he go faster? It's going to be interesting to see where they come in. We believe through the statistics that the optimal pit strategy will be the 777. Whether these guys do a little bit extra, we're not sure. Everyone's strategy has been very unique. Their tunes have been very unique. As we see Ando's car coming around the corner there, very firmly planted, no raising like the rest of the cars on the field. As we move down, we see Rolls coming through for West End Motorsport. He's not massively behind, but he is losing a little bit of time every lap. So we can see the rear end of his car is slightly raked. A little bit of a different setup to Ando. See, you get a little bit squirrely into the corners. Coming onto the bridge, he's got the hammer down. And he's giving it all of the horsepower available to him. Flying across the bridge, he's a second down, so he's had a massive error in that first sector. As we see Spud under pressure from Aussie. Aussie's moved up into 4th place. But it looks like that battle's not quite over. As he gets onto the gas early out of the corner. Whoa, right up to the wall without touching, using every inch of space that he's got. As we move up to Spud, we can see that the tyre wear between the Mustang and the Chev are almost identical. They've done quite well in the parity of this series. As we move back down to Aussie, we can see the fuel's also quite equal. So these two drivers are giving it everything they've got. Their times are similar, their tyre wear similar. As we see Ando, our race leader, jump into the pits. Will the rest of the cars follow? Rolls goes in. We see Spud stay out for an extra lap in the Mustang. We've also got Aussie going in. Extreme going in. Ando and Rolls equal with the fuel amount that they've saved. Aussie not far behind. Spud's now taken the lead, but he will need to keep a relatively fast lap time to make this work. He's gone an extra lap. His tyres are quite worn. But with that fuel down low, can he make up the speed to give himself a little bit of a gap? See, Ando's already out of the pits. He didn't grab a lot of bang water, just enough to get around for his next stint. As we look at the gap back to Ando from 1st place. Now remember, he's done enough fuel to do another, well, let's just say he'll do another 7 laps. Whether he goes a little bit short or less, we're not quite sure, but he's definitely got enough fuel to do his 2nd stint now. Fresh tyres, and with the lap times that we've been seeing from him, I think it'll only be a matter of time before he catches up to Spud. Spud's definitely going to have to pit at the end of this lap. We saw he was in the red light for the fuel warning. So we'll see him go into the pits and Ando retake that lead. As we drop back down through the field, we see Rolls making his way up onto the bridge here in 3rd place. Aussie coming around the same corner. Up in 4th. Extreme in 5th place. Super VT followed very closely by our teammate HC Lewis. These guys are starting to work together now. They know it's about fuel. It's going to be more strategy than it is speed. No one's going to be able to outspeed Ando at this point, so these guys need to get through cleanly, make up some good team points together, and get their drivers' championship rates as high as they possibly can. They do that by working together, using each other's slipstream, being able to go a little bit further on that fuel, a little bit less wear on the tyres. These guys will be in good sorts. As we see Lewis run a little bit wide, you see him get a bit sideways on those marbles on the outside of that corner there. Moving back to Wayno in 8th place here for Juice Racing. You see he's on his best sector so far as well. Move down to Dids, the team owner of Strike Racing, in 9th place, followed by his teammate Peasy, who's had a bit of an off, doing a good recovery. He's put in a lot more fuel than most of the rest of the drivers here. So will that be part of their strategy? Are they going to go a little bit longer and do a shorter stint at the end? Or are they expecting to save a bit of time in the 2nd pit stop? We'll just have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try and keep track of that as we see Spuds come into the pits now with no fuel at all. Did he run out before, or did he coast in right on the red light? As we see Ando and Rolls go past, Spuds put the fuel in, and he has maintained 3rd place coming out. We've got Scotty here in 11th. Unfortunately, it looks like he's had 2 laps that just haven't quite gone his way with the 208s. It's a little bit off the pace for Scotty. Usually quite a fast driver for Gridline Racing. We go down to Colin. Remember, this is his first appearance in a MotorMotion series. It's part of West End Motorsport team. He got the call up late. Limited practice, but he's given it a hell of a shot. He did great through qualifying. And in the early stage of this races, he was in 6th. If he can keep it together, we've still got another 10 laps to go. So he's got potential to move his way up the grid a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see what he can do. As we go down the grid, we've got Griffo in 13th, Ryoff in 14th, Rusty Nuts tailing out our field for Mash Spud Racing. Unfortunately, things just not going his way tonight. As we jump back to our leader, Ando. As we see from that shot, he has nobody pressuring him. He's putting on a show for the fans. He's just driving as fast as he can, just because he can. That car looks very planted through the rear end of this course. He's only 200s down on his fastest lap. As we see him go back down to fourth. Holds that gear in. Most cars have been using third through there, so I see something through fourth that's a little bit different, and maybe that's part of his strategy. As we see him come across the line with a 204.6, absolutely flying. Well done, Ando. Mate, if you can keep that together, you're looking good. Rolls here in second place. He's just come across the line. He's done a 204.3, so he's trying to make up a bit of ground on Ando late in the race here. With only 9 laps remaining, does he have enough to catch up to Ando? As we look back to the gap to Spud, it looks like this field is starting to spread out across those top 3. Spud being our first Mustang on the field in third place there. Mash Spud Racing. He's done his best first sector as well. Coming up here on lap 10. As we listen to that Mustang roar across the bridge as he comes up to a very heavy braking zone. At that 150, you want to be hard on the brakes, getting ready to turn in early. You want to grab lower gears like third and then push the car out. Now, as we come up to the most technical part of the track, I believe, you want to brake early, get on that gas early, and get a good run down this back straight like we've said a few times. And we see Spud absolutely nail it. He gets a good run up the back straight as we move down into Aussie, who's also flying, moving at about, I think they'll hit close to 290 k's before the brake zone. Get on board. 292, 296, 300 k's, he's flying. He's got a really good exit. Cuts the corner in. You see Kane, Peyton right there behind him, the Ned Racing entry, trying to apply a bit of pressure on him, but with pace like that, up to 300 k's, that car is flying. We mentioned before that this car is slightly raked. It is to help with that part of the track you see there, ladies and gentlemen. See the bounce in the suspension? Keeps the car flat and lets the power stay down. Whether that's going to help him throughout the rest of the race or not, we're not sure. But we can definitely see through that last technical sector where there is a bit of a bounce down into a final corner. Kane does look quite planted. So we move down. Super VT's made a way up to 6th. Still followed closely by a teammate. Surely they're working together to get a good result for Maxim Sport. We're on lap 11, ladies and gentlemen. So we've come around turn 3, getting ready for the setup through turns 4, 5 and 6. It's definitely a technical part of the track. You want to get this right to get a good speed onto that bridge. So we see the 2 teammates coming around. Oh, HC Lewis has made a small mistake dropping off the side of the track there. Still managed to get a good exit up onto the bridge. He's going to use Monica's slipstream across the bridge to catch up from that small error he's made. As we jump down to Wayno following with the next battle pack. So Wayno here with the Juice Racing entry in 8th place, followed very closely by Peasy and Dids. Dids has got a penalty. He must have cut a bit of track there or done something a little bit out of the ordinary. Don't often see him with a penalty, but that's going to hurt. A 1.5. So we stay on board with Dids just to show you how much a penalty around here can hurt. on turn 10. Going to navigate turns 11 and 12. This is where we'll see that penalty line come into effect. Comes down the hill. Oh, that's massive. As we see Scotty making up a ton of ground on the back of Dids. Oh, Scotty using every bit of track, little bit extra as we see the dirt go flying. He's making his way up onto the back of Dids. Will he be able to get into the slipstream before turn 1? Breaking down, we see usually 4th here, around the corner, back on as hard as he can. Oh, he looks like he's close, but is he quite in the slipstream or not? As we make our ways up through turns 2 and 3. Hard on the brakes, turn early in on 3. You want to get on the power quick and get that car firing, ready to get yourself set up for turns 4, 5 and 6. See, Dids might now be feeling a little bit of pressure from Scotty as he's all over the back of him. Getting ready for the setup onto the bridge. This is where you want to get it right. You need that straight, you need that power. We see Scotty's definitely inside that slipstream now. Will he make the move up the inside for turn 7? He doesn't, he holds it in. As we stay on with this battle for a little bit longer, we see Dids cut in early. Use as much of the track as he can and get on the power. Is he going to get a bit of a break now? Is he going to get a little bit of a gap from Scotty? As we jump on board with Scotty, right behind Dids. He's making the move up, ready for the inside of turn 10. And he gets it done. Well done. Oh no, they're still side by side. He's leaving the racing room as we move back to the camera angle. Dids files in now behind Scotty through that back section of the track. That's some great racing there by the pair. And we see Dids come in early. Oh, is he going to get the line back through with a bit of crisscross? Wow, what a battle here. Gridline racing versus Strike. Colin says, hey, I want a bit of that action. Let me get on that slipstream. As you see him making a bit of ground on the back of Dids while these two guys are arguing. We're here on lap 13 with a fantastic battle down the rear end of the track. We've got 9th, 10th and potentially 11th here in a three-way battle. Looks like Scotty's getting a little bit of breathing room from Dids now. As we see Colin get on the back of Dids. Small mistake, looks like he's run a little bit wide. We see Colin getting all over the back of that slipstream. He wants as much advantage as he can to get back into contention of this race. As we jump back up to our battle pack at the front, we've got Spud here in second place. Sorry, it's third place. Rolls is in second, Ando's in first. Just behind Spud's where our battle pack is, we've got Aussie in fourth, Extreme in fifth, not far behind. See, there's a bit more of a gap compared to the rear of the field with these guys here. Super VT having a great run. She's up in sixth still. Doing fantastic. Telling the boys, you know what? Guess what? I can drive too. She might have only had the wheel for a year, but she's driving like a pro. HC Lewis, her teammate, not far behind, with Pearsey all over the back of him. A lot of pressure on the back of that Mustang right now, here on lap 13. So we see Pearsey look to get a little bit of an inside run. Will the pair be able to make it around here safely? Just the chicanes of lefts and rights. We see Pearsey tuck in behind. We see Ando go in for his second stop, followed very closely by Rolls. Spud once again going for that extra lap. As we see Super VT and HC Lewis pull off into the pits while Pearsey goes for one extra. We're going to make our way back up to the leaders now. So we've got Spud in first place, followed not far behind. We've got Aussie in second. We know that Ando has an outright massive gap, but he's just hit the pits. So our temporary leaders for the next lap is M Spud and Aussie, followed very closely now by Extreme Enzetta. Kane Payton's made a bit of ground. He's trying to get onto the back of Aussie, use that slipstream. Moving through this technical part of the track, you need to get it right to get that exit out of the bridge. We need that pace to ensure that you get the fast lap times around here. Ando's been doing it right all night, so if anyone needs tips, dial 1-800. Ando is a alien. As we go flying across the bridge here now, Kane Payton absolutely zooming, trying to catch up to Aussie. Turns it in quite early, using as much track as he can. He's fully on the power now. Gets a good run out of there, but it looks like Aussie's had a better one. As we see the gap open up between the pair. As we jump down through the field, we've got Ando here in 4th place. He's done his final pit. He's going to be driving to the end of this as we see the first 1, 2 and 3, Spud, Aussie and Extreme, most likely to pit at the end of this race. That will give him back the lead. That will give him the drive to survive. If he gets the rest of this right, this race is his. That trophy, he's almost kissing it at the end of this race. But we've got to wait and see. We're on lap 14 of 19 and anything can happen here. As we move down, Piercy's done quite well. He's in 5th place. He will need to do another pit because he's done that extra lap. So unfortunately, even doing that extra lap, he hasn't managed to get himself in front of Ando, who has pitted. So we'll have to wait and see where that puts him in contention to the front 3 as we see Spud go into the pits once again with 0 fuel. Wow, what a drive. He must be calculating this down as Ando takes back his lead. We've got Spud in 2nd place, grabbing his last set of shoes, last bit of bang water as he goes around this track for the final stint. We see Rolls has taken back 2nd. Believe he pitted a lap earlier. We'll get on board with him shortly and check. Yeah, he's put in just enough fuel to make sure he can make it the final laps. He's on lap 15 of 19. We move up to Rolls, who's definitely got enough fuel. So, for his first stint here with West End Motorsport, what a drive. He's up in 2nd place, he's doing fantastic. We move back down through the field. Spud's got enough water now to get to the end of the race in that Mustang in 3rd place. Oh, he's got a little bit sideways. Keep it together, mate, you can do it. That'll be a podium for the Mustang, you can do it. Followed very closely now by Extreme, who's managed to jump a spot in the pits. He's doing well for Ned Racing there in 4th place. We jump down to Aussie in 5th. Just lost out that spot there to Kane. Looks like he's got a good exit onto the bridge. Will he be able to catch him before the end of the race? Stay tuned with us, folks, as we go on board with Aussie for a lap around here on lap 15. As we come around to that final stretch here at the end of lap 15, we can see that Kane has made a little bit of a gap from Aussie there. It's this lead battle pack do their best to get their way around St. Croix B from their final stint on their journey here in France. We move down through the field. We've got Piercy in 6th place, followed very closely by Super VT. She's doing a fantastic drive there in 7th place. Moving down to her teammate in 8th, HC Lewis. They'll be very pleased with their results. They're in the middle of the field. As long as they can keep this together, that'll be some good team points for them. We've got Wayno here in 9th place for Juice Racing. GLR Scotty, Gridline Racing. We would have expected to see him a little bit higher up, but unfortunately, as he runs wide, we can see that he's just not quite got this car settled as some of his competitors. Competition here is absolutely insane. The level of driver, second to none. These guys are the fastest people from around the planet. If you want to race with them, make sure you jump onto our Facebook page as we see Scotty get a little bit left. Oh wow, he's grabbed a bit of dirt and it's allowed Ryloff from Jack Daniels Racing to get past into 10th place there, dropping him back to 11th. We see Sir Dids there in 12th place as a yellow flag comes out. What's happened across the bridge? Oh, as we see HC Lewis must have grabbed a bit of that corner. Unfortunate for him. He's been driving so well all night. What a shame. Coming down to the final stints of this race, he's just gone a little bit wide and grabbed that wall. As we make our way back up to the leader of the race now, Ando, absolutely flying. We can see on lap 11, he's done an absolute alien lap of a 2:03.8. He is putting a show on for his fans, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't care if he's on his final stint. He's giving this everything he's got. He's absolutely flying as he comes across the line with a 2:04.427 as he starts lap 17. We move down through the grid. We've seen he's just gone past the lap car. Rolls now coming up to that same approach, going across the line with a 2:03.7. The new fastest lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen, for West End Motorsport. He'd be absolutely cheering. We can hear his engineers in the paddock there absolutely screaming and cheering for him. I don't think he's got enough laps remaining to catch Ando, but what a drive from the brand new team owner, new team, West End Racing. Well done. We're moving to 3rd place. Spud, he's still there. He's hanging on. He's only got a few more laps to go. Can that Mustang make it out to the end, or is Kane Payton going to get onto the back of him and get past? What a drive. What a battle. Look at this. Between 3rd, 4th and 5th, there's almost nothing in it. Aussie's only just off the back. It's only going to take one little bit of battling between these two here, between Extreme and Spud, to see a little bit of a delay in time to whether, as we see Spud get a little bit sideways coming onto the bridge. He's opened the door. Is that going to also open the door for Aussie coming into this corner? As we see them get underneath that 150 brake marker, hard on the brakes, turning hard left. And we see as he comes around about half the throttle, then flat out. He wants to get a good run through here. He needs to put a bit of a gap in between himself and Extreme. Oh, as those two drivers use every inch of road, we almost see the side mirrors scraping the side rails as they go around there. These guys are giving it everything they've got. Fantastic racing. So we see Spud making his way now up to another heavy braking zone. Mustang does pull up slightly better than that Chev. As he gets in, let's wait and see. It looks like he has managed to put a bit of a gap now, bit of breathing room as we come through the final sectors of this course. Remember that big hill can unsettle a lot of cars coming through here, but not Spud's. His is set up well. His engineer's done a great job getting that car ready for him. So we see Extreme now putting a bit more pressure back on. Looks like he manages to make a little bit of ground in that tail section. Aussie right behind. It's a 3-way battle pack. We've got 2 more laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're on lap 18 of 19. Spud's still maintaining 3rd place. Extreme in 4th, not far behind, followed very closely by Aussie Hypnotic for WTCC Racing. Pearsey, next one back, coming across the line, making his way to corner 1. There for Stripe Racing, followed by Super VT. She's racing for Maxim Sport. She's doing a fantastic job. These Mustangs haven't been quite as competitive as the Chevs, unfortunately, but you know what? It's all about the driver, and there's 2 drivers in this series that are making the Mustang work for them. So far, we've definitely got Spud and Super VT that are showing us, hey, look, this car might not have all the beans yours does, but it goes around here just as quick. As we drop down into 8th place, we've got Wayno here for Juice Motorsport. He's doing a fantastic drive. Ryle for Jack Daniels Racing with a lot of pressure on behind there by GLR Scotty as we see him coming into these technical parts of the track, ready for the bridge. Unfortunately, we see HC Lewis back in 11th after his mistake in the previous lap, flying across the bridge, doing everything he can to make up a little bit more ground. Sir Dids in 12th, he would like to be higher as well, and M. Collin, his first race here in MotorMotion for West End. Had a fantastic qualifying, unfortunately made a few errors, has put himself back into 13th. We've got Griffo here in 14th. Coming across the bridge with a 2-second penalty. Fortunately, it looks like he might have cut a few corners. That's going to cost him, because we saw how bad that 1.5 penalty was earlier with Dids. 2 seconds is going to feel like a long time, but it's not going to be long enough for Rusty to catch up, unfortunately. Things just not going his way tonight. A lot slower, a little bit off the pace. As we see, he's just done a 2:10. So we move up onto our lead driver for the final time around this track. Ando's had an absolutely spectacular race. Hasn't put a foot wrong. We see those times down there on the side. 2:04s. Besides his in lap for the pits and his out lap. This has just been an absolutely spectacular drive as he comes across the bridge for the final time here across in St. Croix B at France. In the MotorMotion V8 Supercars ShawFire Series. He runs it very wide, but he stays off all the marbles. Gets a great run. Heavy on the power. We can hear his communications with his pit team. He's already celebrating. As we can see, second place is only just coming around that corner now. Ando's absolutely flying. He's got good tyre wear, good fuel. He hasn't put a single foot wrong tonight. He's just got everything firing for him. All of those cylinders, all of the horsepower, he's put it all to use tonight. Nothing's been wasted. It's an absolutely spectacular drive. WTCC will be very happy with a race win here as he gets ready to come around the final corner at St. Croix B. He's flashing the hazards. He's letting his fans know that he's done it. Congratulations, Ando. What a win. As we see Rolls getting very sideways. Oh no! Surely that was for the fans. It's definitely for the fans as he does another big skid. Second place. He's very happy. Spud's managed to keep this car in third. We see that Extreme's dropped off and Aussie's picked up fourth. So Spud there for third. Aussie coming across the line for fourth. Extreme in fifth place, flashing the lights, letting his fans know he's done a great job. Piercy's made his way up into sixth. Congratulations, mate, as you come across the line. Super VT, seventh place. Well done. That's the second Mustang we've seen across the line tonight. Wayno in eighth for Juiced Racing. Well done, mate. What a drive. You've done fantastic. Right off there for Jack Daniels Motorsport in ninth place. GLR Scotty in 10th for Gridline. We've got Colin, his first race. He's going to be happy with that. He's beat some very heavy hitters. Crossed the line in 11th, Sir Dids in 12th, and Hayseed Lewis in 13th. Almost a drag race across the finish line there. So we see Griffo coming around the final, Ben now in 14th, and Rusty Nuts has been lapped, so he has finished there in 15th behind Griffo. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic. That concludes our race around France here at St. Croix. Ando is our race winner for WTCC. What a drive. Not a foot wrong. Also joining us on the podium, we've got Rolls Can Hardly in second place. And MSR Spud takes third. Followed very closely by Aussie and Extreme. That was a very intense battle down there in the last couple of laps as we got between those drivers there. What a fantastic drive. Now guys, just remember that this series is there to be for all of you to enjoy. From the 2023 Camaro and Mustang will be on the grid in V8 Supercars. So the new cars have definitely been designed with an eye to increase that road relevance, which is why here in MotorMotion we are actually using the road cars, not the GR3s, not the GR4s. We're using the road cars. We have the tuning on. Like we said earlier in the stream, 650 horsepower is the absolute limit. That's as much as these guys can use. They don't have to use all of it. So some things like fuel strategies and things will come in by using lower horsepower. It also depends how much of that horsepower you can get down into your car. No point of having 650 horses if all you're going to do is spin them. Am I right? So it's definitely a difficult series with the tuning aspect. Some teams have got quite a lot on their plate for their first time ever really doing tuning. So it's been quite interesting to see the different setups of cars. As we mentioned throughout that stream there, we saw some cars with a very heavy rake, another couple of cars really low, flat and planted. So it definitely comes down to what they can do with their differences in suspension settings, horsepower, as you know, these teams have put in a lot of effort and a lot of practice to make sure that they've got their setups right. So guys, that's it from me tonight. Make sure you stay tuned. There will be another lobby up covering the Johnson lobby. That will be commentated by the golden voice himself, Nick. That's Nsput. So make sure you hang around for that. The links will go live soon. If you haven't checked out all the action on our Facebook or on our website, all of those links are in the description below. So just another quick shout out for our sponsors, ShawFire. They provide unique solutions and signage to our display needs, from business cards and stickers to factory signage and vehicle wraps. They can definitely make you stand out. So make sure that you visit www.shawfire.com.au. That's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you catch up with us next week when we go around Road Atlanta on the 31st of January. There will be another delayed stream, most likely another Sunday session for you guys, just to keep it nice and easy. Now, this is an endurance race, so there's going to be a lot more laps, a lot more coverage, and this stream's probably going to start a little bit earlier next week. So make sure you stay tuned, keep up with all the socials, and we'll talk.